Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to the Slormancer, or welcome back if you caught my, I guess, preview video I did on this game about a year ago? It must have been a year ago, yeah. I absolutely adored it, and I want to play more, and it's finally coming out in early access, so I guess we get to dive in. Anyway, Brian McRipped, you're the man! So much strength! Come on, one more! There you are, we've been waiting for you. First of all, my name is Brian McRipped. You may have heard of me, I'm the champion in this kingdom. I'm in charge of keeping the people safe thanks to my incredible abilities. I could talk about myself all day long, but we don't have much time. Strange things are happening in the graveyard of Adriart. Skeletons are coming out of the ground and spreading terror. I'm just noticing the... I don't know if it's intentional, but the knight that I think I'm playing as has kind of a podgy full torso plate and belly plate. I don't know. Anyway. It's the gravedigger who's given us the mission to fight and defeat them so that he can return to work as soon as possible. However, I am facing a problem of personal nature which unfortunately prevents me from taking care of this quest. That's why I'm calling on great adventurers like you. The innkeeper told me that he would find me strong candidates, and I must say that I'm quite surprised. Nonetheless, I only need one person for the mission. Who would like to participate? Okay. So, I can play as a couple of different characters here. We got the Mighty Knight. Did you say fight? Well, that won't be possible. I have a solid armor, but it's absolutely not enough to compensate for my weak damages and my total ineptitude to elemental magic. I'd be completely useless. No, not me. I came because I was told there would be croissants. I have so little resistance and vitality that it's ridiculous. Yes, I have a decent attack speed, but my damage is non-existent. I'm not an appropriate choice at all. My grandfather forced me to come, so pretend I don't exist. Yes, I can cast a spell or two, and they are rather devastating. But as much for me as for others, I'm a real public danger. This font's very small. Let's see. Okay, you'll be able to change at any point. I'm gonna play as the knight. I realize, little generic, however, he's got a special ability that I want to really build into. Well, I would have preferred someone else, but we'll have to make do with. I can see you're lacking equipment. Why don't you start by visiting old Adam Nostress in the east end of the village, and ask him to give you some of my old weapons, and then come back to me. Oh, and pick up my protein drink on the way. Chef Jean-Pierre prepares it for me. The village isn't that big, but I took the liberty of marking those 2 points on your map. We never know. Okay. X to got it. Perfect. So, for those of you that haven't seen this game before, know nothing about it, it's effectively a Diablo-adjacent style game, action RPG. You walk around, you got your 2 health globes, admittedly bars in this case, and a whole bunch of different abilities to spec into. We can kind of preview some of this stuff as we go along. There's a lot. I'm looking forward to this. Ah, hey there, adventurer. Hello, my name's Adam Nostress. Among many other things, I'm in charge of the Shrine of the Champions of Ra. That's in front of you. Brian McRipp sent you, didn't he? I do keep his old weapons. They're very precious. He's a champion of Ra, after all. I should be able to give you something, yes. Let me observe you. I see. Maybe there's no... Yes, no, that's for sure. I've got the right weapon to you. It didn't belong to Brian, but I think it fits a profile as atypical as yours. It's a Slorm Reaper, a weapon that reaps the Slorm out of defeated enemies. They're usually restricted to champions, but you should be fine. Bring it to me when you're done, and good luck! Alright, so now we got sword. Now let's go get that. Let's see, I don't have any movement abilities. Let's see, chef. I have no time to waste on an adventure. You want to steal cheese from me, is that it? Ah, you're here for Brian's drink. I didn't have time to make it, but there's everything you need on the table right there. You just have to follow the instructions scrupulously. I'm sure it probably said something else, but you know what? Scrumpulous just sounds better. This is a brand new recipe that I received this morning. I'd like to know what he thinks about it. This is going to turn him into something bad. On the table, there's a piece of paper that says Proton, the drink for true champions. Then comes the recipe. Dose of protein, water in a flask, shake. For larger muscles, add a spoonful of rat poison. The last line looks suspicious, yet you're not a cook, and you've been told to follow the instructions carefully, and Chef Jean-Pierre is not very friendly. So you follow the recipe meticulously. It's ready. Why is... What? Rat poison? Alright. Well, I guess we're gonna kill the dude. Ah, there you are. I see you found your weapon. Now we can get to it. Did you think about my protein shake? Thank you. Poisoned my drink. I'm dying over here. What happened to me? In the name of Ra, I'm completely dead. That's the end of me. My divine body, my muscles, my silky blonde hair. Just look at me. Look at me. What have I become? This is a disaster. Okay, Brian, you're dead. But it's not the end of the world. You've been through other trials. It's not that bad. You just need a backup plan. Well, I've decided. You're on your own. I'm gonna go into Reddit. Ah! Well, now, that's new. What happened to the others? Help! Sir Brian! Sir Brian, help! It's a disaster! All the villagers have disappeared. Help us, Sir Brian! What the? Sir Brian? This is a disaster! Sir Brian is dead! Our champion is dead! Everything is over! Things are getting out of hand. So much for retirement. For lack of anything better, I think you're gonna have to get us out of this mess. Let's start by going to see the king. Beware, the village is no longer safe. Time to fight. I only have one skill. Hit things. Okay. So the answer is turn sound effects down further. Slorm. Whenever you kill an enemy, you also reap his Slorm, the essence that brought him back to life. You will eventually be able to upgrade some of your skills. This way. Okay. Settings, effects volume. I don't know about you guys. I don't really care to hear smack, smack, smack over and over for these games. Like, I think first-person shooters are the only games that I think I'm really into the sound effects for, just because some gun sounds are great. It's a disaster. My faithful Alastair, my dear Lena, gone. Ah, who are you? Ah, yes, you're the adventurer. All is not lost after all. Did you see what happened? Everything was going well when suddenly a blue flash and everything was gone. There's also this huge seal on my door. I can't get inside anymore. You're going to help me, aren't you? That's strange. I don't think he can see me. I also feel like the apparition of this mysterious seal and the disappearance of the villagers happened right after my death. Could it be that we should take a closer look at the seal? I knew it. I recognize these symbols. This is a Slormancer seal. It can only be him. That vile scoundrel must have planned my assassination. His plan is now in motion. He knows that only a champion like me could oppose his immense powers. Oh my god. The Slormancer is back! Listen. We can hear voices behind the door. There we go. The champion is dead and I have deprived the old king of his castle. A very slick move. All we have left to do is take care of Alina, so that I can finally get my old powers back. Yes, master. Well, well, someone is listening. I thought I made everyone disappear. That's fine, I have other options. You took a hit. Life goes down. Oh well. Help, it's a disaster. What just happened? Did you touch the seal? It's so confusing. My faithful Alastair would know what to do. We must find him. I sent him on a mission to the harbor before the disaster. Could you find out what happened to him? Yes, let's go find Alastair. Maybe he'll know what to do. I appreciate that there's more plot to this. I was kind of under the impression that this was purely just going to be hacky-slashy. And it is. Like, we're going to be just going through procedurally generated grindbox levels for a while. But I appreciate that there's this. Okay. Can't talk to somebody while in combat. Fair enough. Well, that was a strange experience. I've just seen some very weird things inside. Thanks for getting me out of there. Is the king safe? I must talk to him about my terrible discovery. Let's meet him in front of the castle. Barnabas Caldispatch. I wish I could help you, but I can't leave my post. Did you see that? I didn't disappear. I don't get it. I guess it do have a purpose if I was left here. I love the running animation. It's so goofy. Well, brave Alastair, what happened to you? My lord, I was on my way to the harbor when I suddenly found myself in a kind of prison made of shadows and slorm. Everything was dark and slimy. I saw all sorts of strange things, but most of all I saw him. Him watching me. My lord, he was as described in tales, sinister and terrifying. There's no possible doubt about his identity. Oh my god, the Slormancer. He's the one behind all of this. I suspected it. He chose the best moment to act. All is lost without a champion of Ra. There's no one that can defeat oh my god, except Ra himself. We should flee to all legs. And abandon my castle and my village? Never! We must think of a plan. I have a plan. We're going to destroy that seal, open that door, and defeat oh my god. My lord, brilliant idea, but this seal is not like any other seal. It's a Slormancer seal. It is indestructible and unbreakable. You say this seal is indestructible and unbreakable. That's not a problem. I know the existence of a relic, the destroyer of indestructible and unbreakable seals. All we have to do is go get it. My lord, brilliant idea, but, like all relics, the destroyer of indestructible and unbreakable seals has been hidden in the depths of the earth. It's buried under the crypt of the McRips, deep inside the graveyard of Adriart. I know it well, my faithful Alastair, but the graveyard is right next door. We only have to go there and dig it up to get, to put my plan into motion. My lord, brilliant idea, but to dig up a relic we need a shovel. Unfortunately, Pedro the gravedigger owns the only one, owns the one and only shovel of the kingdom. And we must find Pedro in order to find his shovel, in order to dig up the destroyer of indestructible and unbreakable seals, in order to destroy the seal and defeat oh my god. But my lord, brilliant idea. But who's going to do that all that now that the champion is dead? Oh, that young adventurer is just the person we need. Well, we should start by searching the graveyard. We'll probably find Pedro there. The entrance is right next to my shack. Fair enough. I wonder what happens if I die right here and now. Probably bad things. Let's not do that, even though it's tempting. Into the graveyard we go. Alright, so it looks like there's a bunch of different layers to this. So we've got the graveyard and then Adriart's graveyard. Recommend level 1. We must explore Adriart's graveyard to find Pedro the Gravedigger in order to borrow his shovel, the only one in the kingdom. The shovel will then allow us to unearth an ancient relic, the destroyer of indestructible and unbreakable seals, which is buried under the crypt of the McRips at the far end of the graveyard. No shovel, no hole, no relic. I don't know. It's charming. Come on, let's get to Pedro the Gravedigger. Alright, and thus begins the actual gameplay, which is hit stuff a bunch, I guess rescue some people, get some sweet loot, level up a bunch, and so on and so forth. Is it really worth breaking all these pots? I don't know. Mixed feelings there. Hey, and this time around, nobody actually tried to scam me. Or scam me? Send me a phishing scam. I don't know if how many of you guys watching this video see my video essays, but I did one on scams. Okay, extra raw damage, life, mana, magic regen, and armor. Okay, so gain a level. You've accumulated enough experience to gain a level. Much strong. Whenever you level up, you get an attribute point. Okay. So, Slorm Reaper found. Got it. Attribute point. Now you can use your points. No worries, you can undo the change at any time for free. So we've got Toughness, Savagery, Fury, Determination, Zeal, Willpower, Dexterity, and Bravery. Wait, oh no, we already had... Okay. Boy. So, Bravery gets extra movement speed, Slorm Find, Influence gain, Goldus gain. Oh, but each of these... Oh! So, by completing this whole branch, we get movement speed, extra... Slorm, extra influence, extra gold, magic item quality, and Slormites. Let's see. Elemental damage whenever you pick up a new item. Get a greed stack. When you walk a yard, you gain Strider stack. Let's see. Whenever you kill an elite enemy, you restore 35% of your missing life. When you pick up a total of 129 goldus, you gain a merchant stack, granting you 2 raw damage until the end of expedition. Bravery. More like greed. Greed is good. We're going this direction. Is it a terrible idea? Yeah. Will I respec? Absolutely. But I love the idea of every time you pick up gold, you get a greed stack that just increases your raw damage. Like, I don't know, there's just something really enjoyable about the idea of speccing into finances in a Diablo-style game. It's probably actually not as worth it, but I don't know. What other games have trees like that? I should probably look into the rest, too, at a later date. But for now, this is fine. Nah, we'll hit them when we get over there. Can't wait until I actually get a skill, though. Which is... Oh, Oh! Okay, wood stick level 3. To actually get that skill. So I actually already have a skill. We spend Slorm to upgrade them. Okay. Let's go around biffing things for a bit. And go from there. But yeah, just for the scam thing. First time anybody ever almost got close to scamming me was when somebody tried to masquerade as the developers. And we're trying to, like, sponsor a video on Slormancer, and I was so excited, because it's like, yeah, you know, I can't wait to play this. And then it's like, wait a second, this email ain't real. And I had, like, I almost, well, I wouldn't say I almost fell for it. They sent me a zip file, and I'm like, wait a second, that ain't right. Don't open up zip files that other people send you. It ain't worth it. It never is. I mean, obviously, like, if you truly trust, probably okay. But still, I have to PSA that one, seeing as it's... I mean, playing this game just immediately makes me think of, like, oh yeah, this was associated with that thing that almost happened to me. I can't help it. I don't know. Anywho. So, at this point, it should be pretty obvious what Slormancer kind of is. Obviously, it's kind of a slow burn, up to the point where it's really going to get enjoyable, which is, you know, running around, hitting stuff, collecting loot, upgrading your abilities, and, like, if you look at some of the promo gifts that they've put out for this game, like, your abilities get really goofy. This run around just hitting things. There we go. So we've got the secondary skill that automatically became... Okay, got a skill, we can throw a stick. Hey, we also got some chainmail plated gauntlets. Okay. So we've got gauntlets, extra armor, extra raw damage. But, more so than that, we got stick. So I don't have nearly enough Slorm to actually upgrade this. We're getting there. But yeah, part of the reason why I picked this knight is because I wanted to specialize in stick. Because why not? What other game lets you specialize in stick? Not many, let me tell you. Unfortunately, my stick is currently a single target. The damage on it's okay, but we definitely need to work at making it that much stronger. And that's entirely fine. Nobody here. Let's get back to the village. I can turn into a door to make our travels easier. Look. But pots. We ain't done yet. Yeah, so for now, hitting things with the sword is still better. By a long shot. Let's see, doors up here. Break the graves. We're actually a really strong dude if we can just walk through graves and have them crumble on us. That's some nice statistics. Pedro was not in the first part of the graveyard. Let's explore the next area. Let's see, before I do, I want to double check. So I can't upgrade this yet, but I can upgrade this. So, increased crit chance. Let's see. Has a day's chance or a chance to skewer. Oh, reach mastery level 2 with Mighty Swing. Oh, right. You level up skills too. Where's the gravedigger? We must continue to explore the vast graveyard of Adriart to look for Pedro the gravedigger, who's probably trapped in a breach with his shovel. We mostly need the shovel, but we might as well get Pedro out at the same time. So I guess if I want to use the, if I actually want to use the stick ability, I'm going to have to use it. Well, I'm going to have to level it up first before I can actually start upgrading it. So, I guess it's sticking time. Won't be so bad. Let's see. But I will say, I don't think this is... Oh! It does actually have a slight AoE to it. It's just very slight. I don't think this will be one of those, I'm gonna say... It's not gonna be like Darksiders Genesis. Where you actually really have to care about most things you're fighting. I think this is very much going to be one of those games that you kind of just grind box your way through. And just have fun. But honestly, like, I'm cool with that. Sometimes it's nice to play a game that effectively just strips away all pretenses and just lets you just mow through hordes of enemies for loot. I think it's more the point of, like... And who knows, maybe I could be quite wrong on this, but... It's like, oh, I don't know, Dynasty Warriors, maybe. Like, those games were just really satisfying in terms of... You weren't really fighting anything interesting. It was more about optimizing how you fought in such a way that you did the biggest impact as possible. At all times. And, like, playing some of the more recent titles, it actually really does feel like they learned how to make certain enemies more interesting. Which I appreciate. Let's see. I just wonder if I can actually switch my two skills around. I think I can. I probably should. Because I don't mind chucking my stick at everything. But is it a little slow? Let me see. I'm just... I don't have any immediate topics to talk about. But I do. I have a lot. It's just the question of, am I going to get interrupted? So, can I actually stay focused long enough? Well, I think we found the Gravekeeper. Do we? I guess we might as well. Oh. I'm actually stuck here in with them. I really want to do a video at some point, or a series where I try out every single Diablo game. Okay, maybe not Diablo game. I feel like we should take that away from Blizzard at this point. Just because, yes, they're making Diablo 4, but they didn't really invent the ARPG genre. Oh boy, Pedro is freaky looking. Released a villager that was trapped inside the breach. He'll make his way back to Adriart on his own. You'll be able to talk to him once you get out. Cool. Oh, but I'm not done yet. Oh, because I have to close the breach?
Thank you for getting me out of there. It was a weird experience. What, you need a shovel? You've come to the right person. I have a great shovel. But let's get back to the village first. You go ahead. I'll meet you there.
I'm just going to go straight through. The loot will get better as we go on, so there's no reason to stick around.
I'm thankful to you for getting me back. You're looking for a shovel, aren't you? Well, I have one. It's a very special shovel. It's useful for digging holes, but not just that. Thanks to my brilliant modifications, my shovel's able to point north. I call it the shovel compass, and I really care about it. But I lost it, or should I say I abandoned it. I was digging in the most beautiful holes with it, a hole that wasn't too deep nor too irregular, when monsters started coming up all around me. So I naturally fled with all my legs, abandoning my shovel compass to its fate. You're going to get it, aren't you? Shouldn't be too far from where you found me. Let's go get that shovel compass.
Cool. And yeah, we can go back and redo levels. Yeah. Defeat most enemies. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just gonna push it until things get hard. Then we can think about grinding.
I left my shovel compass a little further away. You should be able to easily find it. Only if a villain didn't snatch it from me.
Look, I'm an adventurer. I gotta break all the pots. But it's like, I grew up with this genre. Ooh, these guys are a little tougher. Maybe I should sword a bit. Oh, that's actually not a terrible idea. Weaken him with the sword slash, hit him with the stick. Let's see. We got a belt. Extra thorns damage. Ooh. Now, do I have enough Slorm? Yes. What do we want? Beautiful throw. If it's fortunate, it has a 100% pierce chance. Extra mana on hit. Oh, I see. Regaining mana. Whenever Woodstick deals damage to an enemy, you gain Oak Bark Armor Stack, granting you extra armor for 6 seconds, can stack up to 10 times. Or, Rose Stock. Splinters deal +2 additional damage, and it's equal to 20% of your Thorns damage. Oh, that's actually really cool. Unfortunately, I think we're still Mastery level 1, so I can't get this even if I wanted to. This is gonna be a process. This is some ooky spooky music they got going on here. Rude. Very rude. Now, do I regain health automatically? It doesn't look like it. So I have to be at least somewhat careful of that. Oh, right. I got level up points. It looks like it's mostly giving me movement speed right now. Let's see. But, like, I grew up with the ARPG genre. Diablo 2, I think, was one of, like, 3 game series that consumed me as a child. Like, I played endless amounts of Diablo. And it was a ton of fun. And there have been so many kind of offshoots, derivatives, successors, and attempts at making something else. And some are great. You know, Titan Quest, Grim Dawn, Torchlight 1 and 2. To a lesser degree, I would say, Torchlight 3. I enjoyed Torchlight 3, and I should go back to it at some point. I should have gone back to it when they did the sponsored video, but whenever somebody does a sponsored video for me, I actually lose interest in the game. I don't know why. It just has something to do with implicit versus explicit rewards. It just drives me nuts. Yeah, I'm not healing. So, looks like we might have to keep an eye on that. Let's see. There we go. I might come back for their new character DLC that they're gonna do. Skills gain a mastery level. Oh. Can I do this while in combat? I think I can. Okay, sticks up. Let's invest into the damage. I don't think we need the rest of these. Okay, and let's set it to my left click. Now this increases damage. Oh, wow. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think I'm just going to alternate between those two. And I should probably actually invest in this one. Because Fortunate and Perfect casts, it's effectively some kind of, I'm not going to say super contrived crit system. But that's kind of what it is. It's at least, it's crit with a lot of extra steps. Which is kind of interesting, and I'm excited to see where that goes. But still. But, you know, for all of the many attempts, the genre hasn't changed too much. It's always minor adjustments more than anything else. But it evolves slowly. Like, it's a good example. The roguelike genre had some really big leaps and bounds. I think that maybe just because most roguelikes deviated hard while keeping true to a couple of basic mechanics. Namely permadeath and procedural generation. But, you know, you got stuff like Binding of Isaac that comes out that just completely throws, you know, a lot of stuff out of the window in favor of making it more closer to Smash TV. instead of traditional rogue. But most Diablo games still end up with you crawling through graveyards, crypts, dungeons, and whatnot, fighting loads of enemies, loads of fairly uninteresting enemies. You know, they exist, they're there, but they're mostly just there for you to smack for loot. Ah, I do heal up to full when I kill enemies. This is good to know. Okay. Come back, music. You helped make everything interesting. There we go, thank you. I don't like playing games in silence. It makes me deeply uncomfortable. There we go. But for how many Diablo-likes there are, most of them are actually pretty okay. You know, Torchlight 3 has its problems, but objectively, like, it's still a decent game. Same thing with Wolcen, and so it's one of those where oftentimes when they're panned, it's obviously it's honestly more a direct result of the fact that the competition is so fierce and so good that everybody's just like, yeah, why should I play this Diablo-like? Or this ARPG when, yeah, I have this other one that is just greater. There's not a whole lot of genres where that sort of thing happens. And, like, it'd be kind of nice to put together, like, a somewhat conclusive list of all of them. And then actually, I wouldn't say rank them, because I feel like so much of it is up to personal preference. Oh, I can throw over these. Good to know. Okay. Let us continue to level that. The movement speed is appreciated. And y'all put on equipment occasionally. Oh, it's a special skeleton. I didn't even notice. He's gonna trap me here, ain't he? Mainly, I think I'd also just like the opportunity to play more of these and actually finish them. Because I always have the hardest time finishing Diablo games. You know, I've started Grim Dawn, I think, like 5 or 6 different times. And it was a ton of fun, but I can never finish it. I don't know why. I've done the same thing with Titan Quest. I've done the same thing with Victor Vran. And, like, I don't know. It would be nice to actually sit down and say, like, yeah, I've played through this. And maybe that's part of it, is that I never finished Diablo 2, generally. Like, I would sometimes, but it was rare. Most of the time, I would just play maybe the first act and a half, make a new character, mess with a build, and then go from there. And so, I'd actually really like to go back to so many of these Diablo-likes. Gosh, I really gotta move away from saying that. These ARPGs, I want to go back to them and say, like, hey, was this good? What was the end? What happens when you get all the way down the line? And it's just... It hurts a little bit. I'm just eating arrows here. Trying not to. I'm sure once I get some kind of base healing, this won't be so bad. But right now, I don't have any. And that's a problem. Anyway, but it's like, it's a little tragic considering how much I grew up with this series, how little I actually can finish any of them. I think so much of it has to do with, maybe streaming, maybe some other things, I don't know. Or maybe it's just actually the constant feeling of choice paralysis embodied in game design format that, like, but what if I want to be a, you know, a shape-shifting druid as opposed to a druid that just inundates people with birds? Well, in most of these ARPGs, you have to start over to actually make a new character and switch around. You know, you can't just switch classes on the fly based on what your whim is for the day. And I think recently I was playing a game called Monster Sanctuary that is not at all like any of these games, but there's kind of a feeling of like, oh, yeah, if I want to just switch out what my build is, what monsters I have, I can do it. There's no limitation there. And I think I crave that within the ARPG format. That the idea of getting it terribly invested in one build. It's okay, but like I think I would actually like them so much better if I could even switch classes on the fly. Like don't even give me a limitation with any of that stuff. Just let me go nuts. Or make it that it's kind of a nominal fee or something. I don't know. I'll have to think about this at some point. And like I said, I'd love to do like a video getting deep on this as opposed to kind of the surface layer. And I'd also like to just put some more time into them, because like there's a bunch that are really cool. Mastery level 3 and level 6. That's actually invest in this, because this is our first perk, which is extra Slormancer. We want to grab that sooner than later. Okay, we also can get Revenge of the Forest. Whenever you cast Woodstick, you have a 2% chance to trigger an astral retribution. I don't know what that does, but we're investing in it. It's up to a 20% chance. That's okay. I'm going to invest into Beautiful Throw because that maxes out immediately. I don't know how much I care about Armor of the Forest. Oh. Oh, I only get one of these. I didn't even notice. I was wondering why my mana values were... or why my mana was staying so high. Okay. So it's not like investing into all of these on a layer is actually worthwhile. Good to know. There's the shovel compass. It's a shovel with the compass on the handle. The compass looks broken, and the shovel's all cracked. I'm not sure if it's in any condition to dig a hole. Let's take it back to Pedro. Victory! Hooray!
My shovel compass, thank you. I was so worried, but it's all broken. In this condition, it'll be difficult to dig a hole with it, but it does still point north. It's a compass on a stick. You wouldn't need a compass by any chance, would you? Otherwise, we can always fix it. I have a shovel compass repair kit that I left in the central square of the graveyard, a little further away. It's very specific as an object. Let's go get it.
Yeah, we'll do that in the next episode. I'm looking forward to unlocking some of the other characters just to play around with them. It seems like, especially if I can hot swap between them freely. Obviously, I think EXP is not shared, so I'd have to grind separately with them, but that's okay. But if plot progress is, then I can kind of switch based on my interests. Okay. But what I should probably do is actually look into some of these things and see what they actually do. So, does not deal non-critical damage anymore, but has an additional crit strike damage. Wait. So does that mean this does no damage unless it does a crit? I almost feel like I have to invest in that just to see what it does. What I really want, though, I think is Splintered. Oh, I see. That just increases the damage. It's okay. I thought Splintered would make my branch split. But it does not. And then there's the whole Ancestral Legacy that, like, I don't even know how to go down this tree and what I'm going to do here. It looks wild, but it looks like a lot of it is early access limited. This reminds me of the Wolson talent tree, actually, which is really good, because I liked the idea of Wolson. I just wasn't big on the execution. Anywho, so with all this said, Slormancer will be out in early access. This is an early access game on April 6th. Whoops. I guess alt tabbing doesn't really help me. Well, no. Let's go to the Steam page. You guys get to see Premiere for like hot second here. It's not like there's any compromising information in that general direction. Let's see. Anyway, so it'll be out on April 6th, which I guess is today. I'm recording a couple days early just to have it ready. But it'll be out then, and there looks to be a whole bunch of content that we haven't even seen or unlocked yet. I'm really excited to see where it goes. Oh, nope. I have no idea how any of this stuff works. And that's okay. I'm looking forward to trying it out anyway. Now, here's the question. Can we actually see how much the game's gonna cost? The answer is no. We can't. Well, is what it is. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to play more, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it too. Because, like I said, I love this kind of genre of game, and I want to play more of them, and so, yeah, it'd just be nice to have everybody along for the ride. And, yeah, I can't wait till we unlock the other characters so I can play with them, just to see if they're better. I like Stick Chuck, but it seems like Stick Chuck doesn't quite have the level of, like, world-destroying power that I'm quite looking for. But maybe once I up the mastery a bunch, then I will have the Stick of Justice, and it will demolish everything in my path. We will see. So, I guess I'll just go back to the game for a hot second here. So, I guess if you guys like this episode in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like, helps more than you know, and if you want to see more, hit subscribe, because I'm going to be playing a ton of this game, both in early access as each one of the different classes, and also with the full release later on, and maybe some updates in between. Unfortunately, those are kind of hard to come back to, but I get to them when I can. So, with all that said, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.